Yeah, I know, there's still snow on my hood. But it is so cold outside that literally every second I am outside without the proper protective gear, which is, for this kind of temperatures, is not the sort of thing I have on the truck, every second I spend outside risks frostbite. So, yeah. We're just going to hope that blows off, and if it doesn't, we're going to stop somewhere warmer to clear it. We're not heavy enough that I need to worry about being overweight from snow. And it didn't snow enough last night anyway. And I am not getting frostbite because I decided to spend time outside clearing a bunch of snow that's probably going to just blow off when we hit the freeway. Because it's, you know, so cold that it's not going to stick to anything. I hope. Alright. Diff lock engaged. It's very cold. We just did a parked regeneration. Alright, so the brakes are frozen. Alright. All the way wheels spinning. I think they are. I don't think that was my brakes frozen. I think that was my wheels literally frozen to the ground. Yeah, all my wheels on the left are spinning, all my wheels on the right are spinning. I think we're okay. We did our pre-trip, and at that point I was already starting to feel some pain in my nose. And it's like, well, that's a sign of frostbite. Let's go back into the truck where it's nice and warm. I literally do not have the proper equipment. I'm bundled up as much as I can in this truck without just wearing like 15 layers of clothing. And it was not enough for -7, which is what it is out here right now. It's -7 degrees Fahrenheit. That's like -20 Celsius, I think? Somewhere around there. Over here real quick. I want to get a better look at my passenger side trailer axles. Make sure they're both turning. Yeah, they're good. Okay, cool. Alright, so just watch for smoke. Just to make sure it's not. Just make sure my brakes aren't stuck. No, I didn't pop the trailer brakes at any point last night. Since we kept the truck idling. Even as cold as it is, that we didn't lose all of our air. Our goal today is just to get out of Wyoming. That's what we need right now. Escape Wyoming. Nebraska isn't much better, but it's a little warmer.
0.3 miles ahead, turn left on ramp to I-80 East.
Right. I mean left. We just need to not be here. Also, I broke my phone screen this morning, so that was fun. I set it on my dashboard phone holder thing before I took down my curtain. And I didn't clamp it in. I just like gently set it on the rest, and then I knocked it off with my curtain, and it landed on something and broke. It still works, but not well. Not a stop for us.
on ramp to I-80 East.
I'm just glad we're getting out of here before my fuel gels. Because it's almost at the point where it's so cold that my fuel might just gel anyway, even with the anti-gel in it. So that's only like -10 where that happens. Granted, the fuel tank should be at least a little bit warmer because
0.3
we have our
miles ahead,
engine running.
merge left on I-80 East.
And we're cycling the fuel through the system. But, jeez, it's not good. It's not good, right? And we all know that Wyoming did not plow a dang thing last night, I'm betting. So I'm expecting to get up on the interstate here and it just be snow covered again. Just like what we saw yesterday. Nope, our friend didn't make it to the freeway. Alright. Didn't even pull all the way off the road. No one coming, no one coming. I don't know what you're doing.
37.6 miles ahead. Stay on I-80 East as Wyoming 789 splits off.
That's not good. Hope he gets that through his system soon. I should turn my radio on, actually. Alright. Well, wish me luck. The sun is starting to creep over the horizon, so this won't be too dark of a run. I'm very happy to see we've got some dry pavement to roll on. For now, at least. But I don't think that'll last very long. So far, so good. We're coming up on Sinclair, Wyoming. Mr. Sinclair's favorite city in Wyoming. I don't know why, but he seems to like it here. But yeah, no, you can see the exhaust plumes on the horizon from the oil refinery. Something about a cold day just makes the exhaust extra exhausty. And we're back on ice, which means no cruise control. Oh, whoops. We weren't even in our lane. We're making pretty good time. It's kind of alternating between either pavement like this, or you get two tire tracks to roll in, and the occasional bit where it's just completely snow covered. So we're still making pretty good progress. Even the snow covered bits, traction's not bad. Like you can see here where the tire marks did not exactly follow the lane lines. And if you want to keep traction, you better do the same thing. Cause problems if there's a lot of traffic coming onto the highway there. The right lane's basically in the on-ramp at that point. Ugh. Apparently it's going to be like this all the way to Iowa, so, you know, buckle up. There's parts of Iowa that have gotten a good hunk of snow today, so we can expect pretty bad roads when we get there tomorrow. Lunch break is over.
400 feet ahead, turn right on Anglers Lane, then turn right.
Okay. We are in Sidney, Nebraska. We got 5.5 hours left on our 11-hour clock. Stopped here for lunch because we were getting close to the 8-hour limit. At least as close as you can get. And still have 5.5 hours left on your 11.
Feet ahead, turn right on Old Post Road.
Basically, we were at the point where I could take a 30-minute break, and our new 8-hour clock would not end until after our 14 was over. So that's the point where I feel really comfortable taking my lunch break. I probably should have gone just there. No, there's a way better gap coming up after the next 3 cars. I just didn't realize they were moving so slow, or I'd have pulled out ahead of them. Not that I blame them, this road's a little bit slick. Conditions are definitely much improved here in Nebraska
miles
versus
ahead,
what they
turn
were
right on US 385 south.
in most of Wyoming. Though, like, the first 50? No. The first, like, 30 miles of Nebraska were as bad as US 30 was yesterday in Wyoming. But since then, it's been nice and dry. For the most
0.3
part.
miles ahead, turn right on US 385 south.
Okay. For the most part, that is.
Yes. You want a storage wreck number of years, you don't have to pay something.
Yeah, we're too close to a truck stop. I don't want to hear that kind of nonsense. Oh, neat! There's a Union Pacific caboose at that subway. Well, I wonder why. Why does the subway have a caboose? That's so quirky and odd and cool. If I worked at a subway, I would want a caboose. The CB radio has been very useful in a couple of situations in this winter weather we've been experiencing for the last 48 hours. In a couple of other situations, a little bit less so. It's kind of annoying how much nonsense there is
0.3 miles ahead, turn left on ramp to I-80 east.
on the CB anywhere near a truck stop. I was going through Rock Springs, Wyoming yesterday, and westbound traffic was trying to tell us about a rolled over RV in the right lane a few miles down the road, and they couldn't get a word in edgewise on some guy that was just sitting down at the Flying J talking crap to other drivers. So that's a little annoying. That's a little annoying. But, you know, it's also been kind of useful. I've even used it once or twice myself. So far, successfully. Just warning oncoming traffic of hazards ahead.
350 feet ahead, turn left on ramp to I-80 east.
Alright, well, I'm not turning in front of you guys. I noticed today that the shop at Jim Palmer reconnected my seatbelt sensor. So I disconnected that again, because that's just, it doesn't work and it's super annoying. The seatbelt sensor is one of those safety features that only punishes people who wear their seatbelts. So it literally only punishes people
miles
who...
ahead, take left ramp to I-80 east.
Right. It's like, it's designed to remind you to wear your seatbelt, but if you already wear your seatbelt, it's useless. But then it goes bad. If it goes bad, it's constantly going off while you're driving down the road, because in my case the sensor was going just haywire. It's like shorted somewhere in there. And we're going too fast. I didn't mean to accelerate that much. The sensor was just going haywire, so you know, every time I'd move it was like, oh, your seatbelt's coming buckled. Where it would have actually been easier to drive without my seatbelt, because if you don't have your seatbelt on, it just warns you once when you start driving and then stops, and it never bothers you again. So by unplugging the seatbelt sensor, my truck thinks I never wear my seatbelt, and that's the only way to get it to stop bothering me. Which is baffling, right? I think that sensor is supposed to just annoy people who don't wear seatbelts, but once it goes bad, it only punishes the people that do. And this is not my first truck that I've had a seatbelt sensor go bad in. Both my trainer's truck and Mr. Chewbacca both had similar issues Both of those also Freightliner Cascadias, like Mr. Maxwell here. My trainer's truck was named Betsy. Betsy has been retired. Chewy might still be in the fleet, but he's been renumbered. Because they, whatever driver had Chewy took it onto the regional fleet. Actually, I got some really fun stories about them tracking down the problem that resulted in me losing Chewy. The whole reason I ended up in Maxwell here was because Chewy had an issue with the power steering, where when the box would get hot enough, the ABF behind me just got blown quite a bit over by that wind gust. So let's back off a little bit, just make this way easier for me, and let's also go for the shoulder here. Yeah, he's having a lot of trouble keeping his lane. They kept, so Chewy, when the engine got hot, meaning basically anytime I went over a mountain, or in one case out in the middle of the desert in the American Southwest, when it was like 115 outside, anytime the engine got hot, the power steering would stop working, but only turning to the right. It could still turn left, no problem, but turning right, no. And that problem kept popping up, and shops kept taking a look at it, and it just kept happening. And finally, they just said, okay, look, we can't figure out what's going wrong with this, so let's put you in a different truck, and we'll keep this one here on the yard, and we'll use it for training, because in training they never get it hot enough for that. The training truck never has to go up mountains or anything like that, so, it does, but only without loads, so it doesn't overheat. So like, this truck will work fine for training. Let's hang on to it here. Let's put you in this one, which turned out to be Maxwell. Hi, Maxwell. And so they kept that on the training fleet, and they couldn't replicate the issue, and they couldn't tell if they fixed it. So at some point, our trainer staff, and I think a student as well, took a load up to Kalispell, I think, and managed to set off the issue coming, or like they picked up a load and count. They had cargo on board, and they took it up a mountain with a student driving, and it locked up like that. And they said they almost crashed it. It's like, thank you. I warned you guys. I've been telling you this was happening for ages, but finally someone else experienced it, which immediately justified everything I'd said about that truck. And also apparently made a couple of folks look at me as a way better driver than I am. She was able to drive with that for months? I just got in the habit of stopping at the tops of mountains. I figured out how to avoid the issue entirely by just taking extra time. It's like, not that I was able to do that, but so they started pinning down the problem and replacing more parts and power steering, and eventually it got bad enough to the point where they were able to make it do that in the yard at Jim Palmer. And apparently one of their guys has actually had the upper body strength to steer the truck with no power steering. And so they brought it into the shop while it was actively doing that thing it does, where you can't turn right. So they eventually found the problem and replaced. There's some kind of wheel, a gear wheel, in the power steering setup, and that had gone bad. Which it's a part that's apparently very difficult to replace under warranty, because they can't confirm the part's bad until you send it to them. But they replaced it anyway. The Freightliner dealer had the Freightliner tech had experienced the issue himself on the yard and wrote it up for Freightliner. And the claim didn't get kicked back, so I guess Freightliner found something wrong with it. So yeah, I was driving a truck with a faulty power steering for like 6 months. Well, I don't know, like 4 months. It was only from like June to September of that year, of 2016. So, it wasn't even too terribly long, but you know, I feel very vindicated now that they've found the issue and fixed it, and like because when it was happening and nobody else could get it to do that, I started to doubt myself. Like, what am I doing wrong that's causing this problem in my truck? This is what I was thinking the whole time. Like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Am I imagining this somehow? Am I just... I don't know. I know I wasn't imagining it, but, you know, it's still, the self-doubt is very crippling when you deal with anxiety issues, and I have many anxiety issues. That's why I'm a good truck driver, because I don't like dealing with people. I like being alone. North Platte. I have spent so many days in this town. Some of them not
3 miles ahead,
enjoyable,
take exit
but, you know.
179 to ramp to Newberry Road.
If you're a new addition to the family of viewers, November 2016, I came down with a case of the norovirus after eating at a Love's in Iowa.
0.3 miles ahead, keep right, then keep right.
And North Platte is as far as I got before the sickness came and got me. And I tried so hard to ride it out in my truck, and it wound up putting me in the hospital here. So yeah, that was the thing that happened. That was the thing that happened. If you're wondering why I eat in the truck so much, it's because I cannot trust fast food workers to wash their hands, apparently. This very Flying J where I lost consciousness and wound up calling the ambulance.
Flying J number 687, 3400 so, Newberry Road.
Not simultaneously, we're, you know, a few minutes apart. Good times, good times. I actually quite like this Flying J. So it has a small problem with smelling like a Denny's, which is not always an appetizing smell, as you might be aware. But, you know, such is life. Alright, let's see if I can get the pump started with my phone and get us on our way. It always looks darker on my camera than it actually is in real life. It's just after sunset, about 6:45, 6:50. We just dropped below an hour left of driving for the day, which means it's time for us to start looking for a parking spot. Conveniently, there's an extremely large truck stop at this exit, so we're going to be stopping here. This is fine, as long as we knock out a decent hunk of miles tomorrow, get close to Chicago before it gets too late in the afternoon, and shut down, we'll be alright as far as that is concerned. Because we don't have a set appointment yet, because the first appointment was for tonight, well, tomorrow morning at 0500. We're not going to make that one, because we got held up that day in Idaho, and we've been slowed down slightly by the snow. I factored in the snow in bad weather for our new ETA, so we're still going to make the new initial ETA I gave were out of the shop in Boise. Which, you know, there's something to be said for that. I think my dispatcher might appreciate that at least, that, you know, when I give a ETA, I build in a little bit of wiggle room if I'm expecting a little bit of bad weather on the way. We almost burned up all of my wiggle room. We don't have a lot left, though. You know, you can cheese it with an 8-2 split or something and squeeze a little bit of extra wiggle out of there. Let's go ahead and just end my navigation so that doesn't scream at me as we go up the ramp. Cool. Did that. Yeah, I know. It's just a pole, Maxwell. You're fine. But yeah, so we're still gonna make our ETA. As long as I get a good night's sleep, get us out on the road as soon as we can. Tomorrow morning. Alright, well, I need to... Oh, that works. So yeah, as long as we get on the road at the appropriate time tomorrow morning, we'll be in fine shape to make our ETA. And tonight we are spending the night at the Bosselman Travel Center. It's only 6:40, so we should get a parking spot here, maybe even a good one if we're lucky. Is that enough time to turn? I don't think it is, but if I time this right, that is enough time to turn. So yeah, we'll get up nice and early tomorrow. We'll hit the road probably about 0500. What's the truck entrance? Alright, nobody coming. Nobody coming out. Awesome. The spots I like are open. Yeah, cool. We'll just swing around and get one of these. I just need to turn around real quick. Or we can grab a pull-through. have incidents over here. And it's a relatively short walk to the truck stop because it is very cold. Normally I like walking further for truck stop purposes, but in this chilly weather, I'd rather not. So let's park next to KTS. He's a reefer. We're also parking next to the horse trailer, but that's probably not actually got anyone in it. Because it's a little irresponsible to park overnight with animals. Especially if you're just in a pickup. It's kind of a jerk move to take a truck parking spot, but you know. They're parked far enough back that even if there are horses in that trailer, the reefer shouldn't bother them too much. No more than engine noise from a truck would, anyway. And you know that truck is going to be idling all night if there's anyone in it. That pickup to our right. Totally forgot to turn my hazards on for that. We just lined up so perfectly for this spot. I'm just like, no real maneuvering necessary. Let's just throw it in there. No, I like these spots. They're nice and easy and relatively safe overnight. You can just look. There's nowhere that people can park that'll really block us in because it's all driveway ahead of us. So it's a really easy spot to get in and out of, which makes it a very good candidate for us. There's no one behind us. Part of the reason I like parking here is because we often have tails on our trailer, and if we park here, there's no risk of someone backing into our trailer and destroying our tails. So even if you close the things, there's still a chance someone can destroy them if you parked back to back. But in this parking spot, no one can destroy my tails. I don't have tails on this trailer because this trailer is old as dirt. But I don't know if I mentioned that in video, but yeah, this trailer is like 10 years old. It predates the current prime numbering system. So I should say at least 10 years old, because they adopted the new numbering system model year 2010, so early 2009. And this still has the old one. So surprising to see this thing still on the road for sure, because they've sold most of these. But I guess it's just somehow escaped decommissioning over the years. Anyway, I'm going to run inside, get a shower, get back in the truck, edit a video, go to bed, and we will be back on the road tomorrow morning. Thank you guys so much for watching. Change status to sleeper berth. Okay. I guess technically I should be on off-duty outside a truck because I'm going in to take a shower. Unable to provide your current miles per gallon? No! It's because I sat in Missoula all week. Those are our weekly notification about our fuel economy. It's fine. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Ellie O'Dare, AzerAngel17 on Twitch, Xbox Live, and Steam. Drop in, say hi. Let me know if you enjoy the videos by clicking like, subscribe, or leaving comments below the videos. I do read them all. I don't always reply to them all, but I do read them all. They all appear before my eyeballs, unless you reply to something really, really, really old that somehow doesn't get a notification to me. Usually, I still get notifications for that stuff, but sometimes they don't show up in my feed. Don't know why. But, you know, just comment on the new videos instead, because that helps a lot more. I'm kidding. You guys do what you want. But if you do want to talk to me, come say hi on Twitter. I'm on Twitter all the time, at Ellie O'Dare, no apostrophe in the username. There is one in my real name. It's very confusing for a lot of people. Apostrophes are just apparently death to certain computers. I haven't had caffeine in 2 weeks. This is me without caffeine. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.